DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool. Tonight's DJNTV show is sponsored in part by Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, Newmark, and DJNTV Insiders.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, time for running your DJ business with KC and special guest, Donnie Lewis.
What is up, Donnie?
What's up,
right
Jeff?
now, everybody's scratching their head going, wait a minute, that's not Brian Bonacisi.
I don't have a smile.
That's true. Nobody has a smile or his eyes. So for those of you that have that are tuning in and scratching your head, Brian, of course, being that guy that he is, I'm trying to get on the YouTube thing right now, and it says live right now, episode 19, but oh, there we go. Okay, never mind. And I'm muted. Good. Holy cow, we've already got all kinds of action on YouTube. People chatting away before they even started talking to us. Okay, so Brian is going to be out. His corporate event tonight was it told him this morning that he would be going longer than he had planned. And so as a result of that, Donnie Lewis, our good friend, my good friend, and presenter at the upcoming Marquee Show, shameless plug, has volunteered to jump in and to join us. So welcome, Donnie, to your first time on Disc Jockey News at all, right?
First time, absolutely.
Right, but I know you've been a nice fan of the show, so it's
first time caller, long time listener.
There you go. Except I'm not Howard Stern. So that's that. So I am going to pull up Facebook so that I can monitor everybody on Facebook. And guys, bear with me a little bit because I'm going to be going back and forth covering both Facebook comments and YouTube comments, and we're going to go ahead and get that squared away. Donnie just got up and left the couch. Okay, so hello, everybody out there. I hope you guys are all enjoying the spring weather. I know that in Chicago, we finally aren't freezing our tuchuses off, and I am beyond happy about that. In fact, this weekend is supposed to be 90 degrees. So yeah. Sure enough, we went from winter to 90 right away. And that's just the way that it rolls. So how are things out by you?
Good. We had my first 90-degree wedding on Saturday. I'm very excited.
Okay. Oh, 90-degree wedding. Thank you, but no thank you.
They're calling for about 92 degrees and ceremonies outside. Outside.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, at least this weekend, it's Memorial Day weekend. So that means for those of you that live in climates that have all 4 seasons celebrated, that means that you guys are going to be getting The pools are going to open this weekend. So at least it's a good weekend for those of you that have pools to get up, get out, and let the kids swim and have a good time. So that's that. But on the subject of weekends, last weekend was a huge weekend in the wedding business. For those of you that aren't living under a rock, the royal wedding happened, right? The royal wedding happened. And so we saw two people get the most lavish wedding that someone's ever had. But we've only gotten to get little tiny bits and pieces of exactly what happened. So, did you get a chance to see any of it, Don?
No.
Okay.
I tried to watch a little bit of it. My wife watched the entire thing with one of my sons, and me and my other son enjoyed the day off of doing an event and spent it outside playing baseball.
But it was 5 o'clock in the morning by you, or 4 o'clock in the morning when it started. Were you just sleeping?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So you slept through the whole thing.
Over here, they replayed it at, I think it was 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
That's when we were outside. They replayed the ceremony and at about 10 o'clock.
Gotcha.
The one thing I did see was the procession, and I was wondering how many songs the DJ had lined up for that procession.
There was no DJ, not at the ceremony.
I know. Did you see the procession? It was like
they had a nice gospel choir that sang "Stand by Me," which was interesting because we'll see how many people now are going to start choosing "Stand by Me" now. As that, will it become a trend? I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, people tend to follow things, but I did an entertainment recap of all of the entertainment on the Marquee Show page. So if you guys want to take a look at that, because they had their ceremony in the morning, as you know, then they had an afternoon luncheon for 600 people. I mean, nothing says intimate like 600 people, where Elton John performed 4 different songs. And that's all that has been actually talked about so far. No other details. So I don't know if they just had an iPod playing background music until Elton John got up, and that was it. But they didn't mention any other type of musical entertainment. And then after that evening, Prince Charles threw a evening reception for only 200 of their closest friends and family. Now, it's kind of funny because the average wedding in the United States is 140, and even the evening, the secondary reception, not a post party, not an after party. It started in the evening, but it still started at like a normal time. It wasn't at 1 o'clock in the morning, as some people have reported.
And they did have a DJ.
They did. They had, and here's what's funny. He's an actor, and he's in the show Luther, and he was in the latest Avengers movie, but he's a legit DJ. Okay. And the joke that I said was that even the royal couple hired a friend of the family to DJ the party. So those of us doing it for a living, we can't catch a break at all. Not at all. But yeah, there was that. And then I don't know if you saw, but Serena, they had a beer pong table as well. And
yeah, I heard that.
Serena Williams crushed it, absolutely killed everybody in it. And then Jody's already jumped on. James Corbin, he was the MC, and he wound up getting the Prince Charles and the 2 sons up for a dance off, which I'm sure had to be pretty funny. And that's one of those things. If James Corbin's up there, you think he's James Corbin, so he's a fun, goofy British guy, but you think like at the same point in time, he's scared that if he crosses the line, he's just going to accidentally disappear by the English military. He's just going to be gone. What happened to him? Don't know. Saw him at the wedding and haven't seen him since.
He's the one that rhymes, right?
He does car karaoke.
Yeah, the carpool karaoke.
Yeah. So
I wonder if he had any quick-witted rhymes.
Right.
Reception.
So forgive me. Once again, I'm having a challenge getting Facebook. I'm having a hard time getting our Facebook feed up on my computer, which I've had a few times. I don't know if anybody else is, but so I'm going to shift to my phone so that I can, there we are, live on there. Turn my volume down. And that way, Donnie Lewis said hello. There we go. So you're actually on top of Facebook, right?
Yeah, I clicked him.
Ronald Miles, hello. William Ray, hello. So thanks for popping in and saying hello. And then, of course, my tried and trues here on YouTube, Jody, John, William. I appreciate all of you. Rob, so thanks for tuning in. So last week we talked about places that you should be on the internet. And one of them obviously was social media. And so now we had the biggest wedding of the year. 29 million people watched it. Now, I don't know, short of maybe Princess Diana's wedding, I don't know. Let's put it this way. In the last 5 years, it's been the most watched wedding. And to compare it, the Super Bowl, I think, had 104 million viewers. So it's 25%, but it's still 29 million people. Yeah, so being in the wedding industry, you would think that the most blogged about and socially media shared topic on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday would be the royal wedding. Now, I've already called you out on this, and you can share it. Donnie Lewis from Your Event Matters. The question being is, did the royal wedding matter to you on social media?
No, if it really mattered to them, they would have hired me.
Maybe you just weren't qualified.
Come on, that works a little bit.
Nah, it doesn't work. Sorry.
A little bit.
They weren't shopping for their DJ on Craigslist, Donnie. Okay? So that's the way that it goes. But yeah, so it shocked me, and this was my test. So I'm calling out a handful of writers from Disc Jockey News, which are the ones that are sharing their knowledge to help people grow their business. So which Disc Jockey writers blogged or shared? Mike Walter, what do you think? Yes or no? What would you guess, Donnie?
I think Mike Walter did.
Mike Walter did. He shared on Saturday morning an article about the royal wedding, specifically about the music. So there was that. Okay. Joe Bunn, yes or no?
No.
Did not. Not a word, not a sound, not a peep. But for those of you watching, you know that you can go to Bunn Entertainment, and he has got some brand new T-shirts, Yetis, and all kinds of stuff for sale. So Joe cares more about selling T-shirts than about the royal wedding. Tamara Sims, not to make this a chick thing, but you'd think, let's be honest, 29 million. What do you think the girl to guy ratio was on the viewership?
I'm going to say 80-20, easy.
Right. So Tamara probably watched no matter where she was. So we just say yes or no?
I would say yes, yeah.
She is going to be disappointing you because not a word, not a sound on the Something to Dance To Facebook group page. Brian Scott Red. No. Yay or nay? Milwaukee, no. In fact, it was interesting, not passing judgment, just making an observation. As you know, Brian's a gearhead. He's way, 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 way into gear. And what was really interesting about it was that his entire, if you go to his personal page, it says he's a DJ at Brian Scott Red, which must be the name of his disc jockey entity. And what was interesting is that every single one of and he posts regularly, like really, really regularly, but every single solitary thing that he posted about, it's about gear. So I don't know how brides-to-be feel about that, and I'm not passing judgment. Again, it is purely an observation. Okay. So maybe they think that they're going to get the techiest DJ on the planet. But yeah, his entire stuff is all about gear. Mitch Taylor, Tailored Weddings, yay or nay? What do you think?
I'm going to say no.
You're correct. Not a word, not a sound about it. Now, here's what was interesting. Looking at Mitch's Facebook page, and again, no challenge, no judgments, no anything. Everything that I looked at, and I didn't spend a ton of time on there, almost everything that he does, he is pumping up his clients' weddings. Like he's sharing a lot of their engagement pictures, talking about how close it is to the wedding. So excited to be doing, Donnie and Sue's wedding and whatever, and has their engagement picture and is tagging people. My only, not even criticism, but my only concern would be if I'm a new bride to be and I've come across Mitch's page, the question be is, would I find him interesting? Okay. And this is what I talked about last week was, are you posting things that brides will find interesting? Because today, brides and grooms and wedding couples getting married, just like anybody, they want interesting things. You look at the most popular things on the internet being shared, cooking videos, right? How to cook an amazing plate of this or bowl of that or what have you.
No.
So it's about whether or not it's interesting or not. So again, the question being is, what will a bride to be find Brian Red's videos interesting? I don't think so, but
Probably not
again,
the product videos.
What's that?
Probably not the product videos.
Right. And so again, I'm not saying it's right or whether it's wrong or whatever it is, but the reality is that it's definitely something to think about.
And I think regardless too, as long as you're showing a passion for your craft, hopefully that's being expressed to the couples and they see that. But whether or not they call because they see something about an uplight, if that's going to make them call.
But here's the thing, not to sound mean, but we are a very selfish society today. Yeah. And so the reality is this, people want to know how you're going to help them. That's the bottom line. And it's interesting because I guess I'll say it here first. I'm actually presenting at Marquee on Wednesday morning, and my seminar is The Rules Have Changed. And the reality is the rules have changed and they continue to change. And good, bad, or indifferent, people's attention spans are much, much smaller, and they only care about how you are going to help them solve their problem. Okay? Whether that is Amazon getting that stuff overnight. I mean, think about this for a minute, right? You used to get a shipment, right? Back in the day, you'd order it, they'd be 6 to 8 days, right? And you were like, okay. And that's just the way that it was, right? If you got it in 6 days, you were like, oh, yeah, I got it early. You were so excited. Yeah. Now, if you told somebody it's going to be 6 to 8 days, they would think like you'd get trashed on social media. You get trashed on reviewing websites. The reality is that what do you call it? Like nobody has patience anymore. No. I mean, if you think about it, 15 years ago, we were doing dial-up connections. Like in our old office, I had a long phone cord that we used to plug when we had, Net Zero. Oh, we would plug like a 40-foot long, a 40-foot long phone cable into the same jack as the fax machine so that when we wanted to go online to check email, we could. And again, that's not that long ago. It's really sincerely not that long ago. So again, things are changing faster than ever. And if you're not changing with it, there's a problem. And it's the phone. You're right.
That's what creates all the anxiety in the whole world right now, man. It's
right. And it's interesting.
Access everything right away.
We have all of this technology that is geared to make our lives easier and more convenient. And yet we have less time to have dinner with our family than we did growing up. Or our grandparents. My grandparents used to have people over at least once or twice a week for dinner. Okay. Every single week they had a dinner party or two. They had people that they played cards with. And again, it's a Chicago thing, but if you ever saw a Chicago bungalow, the steps all have like a little ledge next to them. And people would actually sit outside and talk to their neighbors. And they might read the paper and they might sit in a rocking chair or they'd smoke or whatever. But the reality is that people had more time. And today we have all these things that are supposed to save us time. But the reality is that we have less time than our grandparents did to relax and enjoy ourselves. So that's that. And what it means to you as a business is you need to be able to deliver to your possible client as fast as humanly possible. I mean, that is just the way that it is. And if you're not, you are SOL. So
yeah. I remember when I first started, I worked for a multi-op, and this is only 6 or 7 years ago. Okay. And the owner would tell me if I got a contact, to not answer them right away, to wait to the next day and wait about halfway through the day to contact them, because if I contact them right away, it looked like I was desperate for the job.
You know what's it's
which is completely wrong.
it's funny because I know another DJ who's very performance driven, and he used to tell people that he used to tell us not his advice was to call the next day and to appear extremely booked and extremely busy because he felt that it wound up making you seem like you were more in demand.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I go, but if you're that in demand, most people would think that you're not a good business person because you haven't hired somebody to answer the phones.
Yeah.
And that was that.
I think brides today read right through that. I mean, they see it right through that as soon as they see it.
Well, here's the thing. We're all multitasking. Okay. Sonny from the Knot said that the average smartphone user reaches for their cell phone every 6 minutes when they're awake. Every 6 minutes.
I believe that.
I mean, it's crazy. I just read a statistic. The first thing that millennials do when they wake up in the morning is they reach for their phone to check their social media feed, even before they've gone to the bathroom. Okay. The very first thing that they do. So again, if you don't think that you have to be on top of it.
My wife just pointed at me.
That you're that guy?
I'm that guy. I really am.
Okay.
I wake up 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I slowly sputter out to my kitchen, grab my phone off the charger.
Okay.
And then I go in the bathroom, and the first thing I do is look at my emails.
Right.
See whatever emails that I have to answer.
Okay.
Then I look at my texts. And then I look at my Instagram and Facebook messages to see if there's anything. Right. And then then I go on with my day. And
then you pop on like Instagram stories, and you realize that nobody had done anything interesting the day before.
Exactly.
Like it's like, boring. Okay, John ate a burrito. Okay, here's some DJ showing footage of the cha-cha slide from the night before. Okay, and here's somebody pushing their kids on a swing, and like, again, not to sound mean, but again, that's reality. And so you find yourself checking Instagram stories or stories on Facebook, and it's not all that interesting. It really isn't.
Facebook almost bores me at this point. I'm such a not a fan of Facebook.
See, and I'm not like, I think Instagram to me is Facebook for dummies. Like, I don't want to actually read. So just let me see the picture of your burrito. I don't care where you had it at. I don't care whatever. Or it's the opposite where it's like 700 hashtags. Hashtag burrito, hashtag I heart Mexicans, hashtag Trump hates Mexicans, hashtag.
Yeah.
So that's it. Now I use my phone as my alarm clock. And so I do grab it right away. But for me, I'm old school. I flip on the morning news locally here, WGN. And that's how I start to get my day started. And then I'll check my phone, but I'm also that guy where I really can't get functioning at all until I get in the shower. That's just the way that it is. So
all right.
I have to get up. I got to get showered. And that's to me like someone's cup of coffee. So
you got to buy that new shower curtain. Did you see the shower curtain?
Even more ridiculous. For those of you who don't know what he's talking about, there's a clear shower curtain with a phone or a tablet pocket, waterproof pocket that allows. So you must insert it from the outside, and then you can still touch it through the screen, through the shower curtain screen.
That's right.
Which is absolutely crazy. Anyhow, so let's go back to the royal wedding, because here's what's interesting. As you know, the DJ, to my knowledge, I think, because they photographed him, it looked like he was an invited guest of the bride and groom. Okay?
Okay.
At least that's the way I've seen it portrayed. So even if they're not, okay, everybody always asks us, you're going to get really good promotion out of this. You're going to get, working for me at my bar this weekend, I can get you in front of lots of people. Okay. And every time we get hit up to do a charity event, of course, the charity organizer wants to point out the amount of people that are going to be there, and your name's going to be on the t-shirt or on the banner, or you can pass out as many cards as you want to announce who you are. And again, I think it's the, what's the word? It's the de facto the de facto way that somebody wants you to do something for nothing in the hopes that you'll get at least one person that's going to do it. Now, question being is, do you think this DJ, and he's a DJ, like he's touring London and that, I mean, when I Googled him, he's got festivals and stuff that he's spinning. So it's not like he's a little bar DJ, and he's not a friend of a friend like you or I might be. So the question being is, do you think he got paid, or do you think that he did it for the exposure, or would you?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know what I would do. I think, you know, at this point I would probably do it, and I don't want to get paid, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think, like, you know, it's easy for me to say that here right now.
Right.
But if I got a contact from a wedding planner that says they were doing their wedding, you know what? I had an event. There was an event here, and it was a fundraiser. So they were looking for somebody to donate their time, and Mark Wahlberg was going to be like the guy.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
Mark Wahlberg is. I mean, I watch every movie he's in. Right. So.
Okay.
I am a
fan. Little man crush.
I do. Yeah, him and Denzel.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. You know, they're great actors.
Okay.
So I jumped on it, and yeah, I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'll do it for free. You know. And then another DJ company came in and paid $1,000. They paid.
So they donated $1,000 to the charity to
be the host and MC of the event and DJ of the event. And
did you lose it then?
I did. I lost it. They actually told me a week beforehand.
Wait a minute. So did you have like a contract with them for $0?
No contract.
That's the mistake.
Yeah, because this was a friend, you know, and I treated it
a former friend, I would think. I mean, I would totally be like, okay, don't ever call me again when you have a 5K race or something where a celebrity's not going to be at it.
Well, yeah, there's no way that I would ever try to take on an event, you know, if they already did that, you know. But the best part about it is Mark Wahlberg didn't come.
Oh, really?
I didn't show up. Donnie was there.
Okay.
You know,
now here's what's interesting. You know, Donnie lives here in Chicago now.
Okay.
He's married to Jenny McCarthy, and it's really an interesting segue. Their wedding was held at a nice, quaint little hotel in the western suburbs of Chicago. But they were looking for vendors to do things for just about nothing in exchange for having the bragging privileges of saying, we did Jenny and Donnie's wedding. Okay. I know the band leader who did it, and he has used it as promotional like you couldn't possibly imagine.
Yeah.
How much work it got from him, I don't know. I love Jenny McCarthy, and she's a diehard Chicagoan, even if she's a Sox fan, not a Cubs fan. But the reality is that there's no way I would have done it for free. Absolutely, positively not. Absolutely no way. The royal wedding, different story. And I've done lots of celebrities here. I've done Bulls players, former Bulls players. And again, I treat them the same. And I think the reason that it's okay is I treat them the same way I treat any other customer, and I never have an issue. Okay. So that's that. But now, Alexei Lubom, I can't say it, Lubomirsky. He was the photographer for the royal wedding. And if anybody has gotten an ungodly amount of press, it's this guy, because he obviously released the allowed 3 photographs from it. And I don't, you know, it'd be nice to have known what he had beforehand, but I looked at his Facebook page, and his Facebook page alone currently has 91,819 likes on it.
Now you don't know what it was before the event, do you? No,
I'd be really, really curious to see it, because it looks like he posted twice for whatever reason. Once on May 21st at 5:43 p.m. and then he looks like he posted at May 21st at 9:30 a.m. So why he reposted? Oh, it looks like he may have added some secondary pictures. Like the first one is just a family one, but the first one, for example, has 5.3 thousand likes. The second one that has the collage of the three has 3.1 thousand likes. So, without question, there is going to be a segment of people that absolutely, positively, without question, are going to say, we have the photographer that did the royal wedding. I mean, there's no question about it.
Absolutely.
So that was that.
An open Saturday for the rest of his life at this point.
Right. So the question being is, from a business point of view, what do you do for exposure? Now, William jumped on saying that he does 3 events for free for charity. Okay. Now, to me, that's a different kind of a thing. You want to give back because God is good, life is good, karma is good, whatever you believe, I'm all for it. I donate a ton, a real ton, and I do it because I want to do it. It has zero to do with business, absolutely positively zero, but it all has to do with me wanting to give back because I'm very blessed in the successes that I've had, and if I can use my success and my talents to give back, I'm totally down with it. The only time that I say no is if the charity that I volunteered my time for the year before did not they did not send me a thank you note acknowledging my services.
Okay.
So now Jody says that that same photographer has 322,000 followers on Instagram. Wow. And again, that being a visual medium, I can see that totally. I'm sure that that's totally the case. And again, it would have been nice to see what he had.
Well, you know what? Go check back a month ago and see what one of his last pictures, how many likes he had in one of his last pictures.
Oh, yeah. No, I looked at that on Facebook, and it was nowhere near 5.4 thousand or whatever it is. I mean, so there's no question that, and from obviously he's running in the right circles. If the royal weddings people
contacted
him, and whatever it might be. So, because I believe that I had read an article where the couple had met him like somewhere in South Africa on another kind of event. So this guy's not your typical wedding photographer. From what I'm told, he's also a fashion photographer. But again, it still goes back to the same things, which is, if you were asked to donate our services and such, the question is, what is the right place, right time, and everything else? So
I'm all about it. If you have a belief in that charity, so my wife battles Crohn's disease.
Okay.
Any type of UC or Crohn's disease walks helps. Anytime I would ever get a contact or something like that. Yeah, absolutely. And, me and my wife had talked about trying to organize our own thing.
Okay.
Just to create more awareness.
Got it.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, if I did every one that somebody reaches out to me for, I have no time to do anything, so.
I totally get it. I totally understand. So every year when we do our toy drive, like every ounce of free time I have from October through like the middle of December, I'm done. Like that's it, because I'm begging friends and family on Facebook to donate money if they're out of town, people like yourself that I would have hit up asking you to donate to my GoFundMe so I can go buy stuff. And then at the same point in time, I'm buying stuff and then just doing all kinds of stuff from setting up the actual event. So that's that. So Mark, what is it? Don? I can't remember. What's his name?
Mr. Donnellan.
Mark Donnellan has a yeah boy. So I'm assuming he must know you, because I don't know anyone that would say yeah boy to me. So Mark, thanks for tuning in. So let's see. On the subject of weddings, we can shift off of the royal wedding now. I don't know if you saw, but Monday, Wedding Wire did the official press release that they have been sold. So they have a company that, let me pull up the exact number. I think it was somebody bought into them for $350 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty huge chunk of money.
Yeah.
Without question, that $350 million. And the press release said that they were going to be using that money specifically to expand their operations both locally and abroad. And I know that I had Alan Berg on a Facebook Live last week or week before, and Alan had shared with me that they started the Wedding Wire India from scratch. In London, they had bought an existing brand and was co-branding it until such time that it had been co-branded long enough to go out on their own.
Okay.
And then they're in a series of other countries too. So it's interesting because it kind of reminds me, quite frankly, of the Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC. There's no question that NSYNC in the United States was a bigger band, but globally, it's not even close. Like Backstreet Boys toured the world, and they're one of the top 10, I think, boy band, or what if you call it boy bands, of all time. So
at this point,
yeah, and I don't know if you call it name dropping, but I got to have dinner with Howie from the Backstreet Boys. He's actually very good personal friends with Jim Robinson, the owner of Promo Only. And so when I was in Florida helping Jim with a project, he actually said, "Do you want to have dinner with Howie from Backstreet Boys?" And I said, "I'll have dinner with anyone you want to, but yeah, I'm totally down." Unbelievably cool, nice, down to earth. You'd like him. His wife is from Jersey. And so when her and I chatted, and I said that I go to Atlantic City every year, and I got friends in Manalapan and Eatontown and Wayne and Edison and every other town I could think of for all of my friends, where all she said was like, "Howie, this guy knows Jersey. He's all right." That's my best Jersey. So
it was close.
Yeah. So, but that was that. So going back to Wedding Wire, though, so Parima Funds will invest $350 million into Wedding Wire, becoming the company's majority shareholder. As a part of the transaction, Wedding Wire's management team and existing investor Spectrum Equity will maintain a significant minority ownership in the company. The investment group will support Wedding Wire as it continues to expand in the U.S. and internationally, launch new innovations, and leverage the industry's ongoing shift to online advertising. Now, here's what's interesting, too. They were founded in 2007, so that's only 11 years old.
Yeah.
That's a really nice payday. You bust your ass for 11 years, and your company's bought for $350 million. Now, I'm sure that they're not, it's not like they're walking away with $350 million, but if everything that I know about these types of deals is the initial powers that be definitely wound up getting a nice payday out of that $350 million.
It'd be interesting to see where they would be if they never decided to do the Wedding Wire Bride's Choice or Couples Choice Awards. Yeah, I think that's probably what
I talked about that last week, and to me, while again, I understand it's earned, I don't take anything away from anybody doing a great job. And let's just say, I believe that 90% of the reviews online are real. I think 10% are fake. And those are the same 10% of the people that, write fake reviews and put them on their own websites anyway. That's just, that's between you and your God and your own ethics or what have you. But the reality is that, it's a marketing thing. I mean, and I think when Wedding Wire popped in 2007, I remember somebody telling me about it. And then I got freaked out because I went online and I claimed my own business when I used to own Spinning Discs. And the funny thing about it was when I claimed it, I already had like 15 or 20 reviews. And I was like, what the hell is this? And so brides had heard about it long before I ever did. And I was like, okay, thank God we're a good company. And, and we're doing a good job. So, and I don't know what the future is going to be, because again, with companies like Yelp just growing stronger and stronger, the question being is, will Yelp convince more brides to just review on there? So I don't know. Yeah. But let's see. They've got the portfolio of sites serves consumers and businesses in 15 countries across North America, Latin America, Asia, and Europe. Globally helps 13 million couples each month. each month. Find top vendors in their area, buy a comprehensive directory of wedding professionals, and over 4 million consumer reviews. I'd be curious, and you know what, maybe I can Google it. I'm curious if you do a search for how many reviews is on Yelp to see if that's a even a thing. I don't know if it is or it isn't. So yeah, but it's interesting. So that's what's new, and that's what's interesting now. Jason Clock was the first person that I saw that had alerted me to this, and then I wound up doing some research on it. Mark McIntosh has proweddingnews.com, and he had it on there. And then I clicked through to the Wedding Wire thing, and then I reposted their official press release on the Marquee Show site for our listeners or our fans, and kind of went from there. But it's interesting because it then spurred topics over F Wedding Wire, F online reviews on Jason Clark's thing. But again, on the topic, you know, I don't know about you, but my way of doing things is after the wedding's over, we sent out a thank you note. Okay, yeah. A handwritten thank you note. After that, we also send out an emailed evaluation through, I use DJ Event Planner. What do you use?
Intelligence. I have event. Okay. I just haven't set it up yet.
Okay. So they have a survey system that allows you to send out your previous clients to get surveys, and it's all tied to their account, which is great. And so the minute that we get their surveys back, if there's a customer service issue, of course, we address it. And then if everything looks good and they loved us and their reviews are just glowing, then of course we will email them a thank you for your kind words, and then we send them over to a series of websites. We have links for Wedding Wire, The Knot, and Yelp. And it's interesting because we get far more brides reviewing us on Wedding Wire than we do on The Knot, and even on Yelp. So we do what we can, and that's the hard part. Is what's that?
I get most of mine on Wedding Wire. I get some of them on The Knot, and honestly, I have Facebook's another one, but Google and Yelp, I don't get many getting over there. I think the process is a lot easier on Wedding Wire than it is on any of the other sites. So right. It's easier to do it, and I think and I believe Wedding Wire gives a gift, doesn't it?
I think they do. Yeah.
They don't tell you what the gift is. I'm sure it's some kind of Wedding Wire keychain, but
who knows? It's probably a gift card of some kind of something.
Yeah.
But the other interesting thing though is I turned off my reviews on Facebook, and the main reason for it is there is no
background checks for it.
Yeah, there's nobody. So I had some woman from South Africa write something totally weird about our company.
Okay.
And I tried contacting Facebook, never got anything back, and then I'm like, you know what? This is done. I'm done with this. So that was the way that it went.
Yeah, I mean, I after every single wedding, I ask my bride, I give them a hug, I ask them how they enjoy everything, and then at the end of the conversation, I say, hey, look, in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to shoot you an email. The email is going to have a link. I'd love if you could share a few words about your experience with us, and what would you like to share with other brides, and they do, and then.
So you don't do an evaluation then? You just assume that they loved you.
Yeah, and
no matter what.
No matter what.
Okay.
I built some pretty lasting relationships with our couples, and I have a group on Facebook that we call the Your Event Matters Entertainment Family.
Okay.
And that's just filled with my old couples, some of my new couples in there, and some aspiring couples or potential couples, and they could ask questions. They could ask recommendations right then and there. They don't have to. I'm not sending them 5 brides that I know are the best 5 brides that are going to give my glowing reviews to them.
Got it.
They could ask anybody that's in the group.
Okay.
200-300 people in there, 200 or 300 brides in there.
Right.
I haven't been as active as I used to be in it. But it's also another way for me to keep updated with our couples and see how their families are growing. And we sell an experience, and nothing is other than that. And we generally like to know about our couples and get to know them, and and create that experience for them. So
Right.
you become friends with them after the fact, and I think that's why my downfall is with using my business page, because like your last episode,
Right.
with you guys, and I don't use my business page like it should be used on Facebook,
Right.
and I acknowledge that, but I do pretty much make friends with almost all of my couples, and
Okay.
they're in there. But I know that those randoms that are looking and searching my company aren't seeing much.
They're not randoms. Okay.
No, I'm saying the randoms that are Googling Your Event Matters and coming across our Facebook business page.
Oh, I got news for you. It's a lot more. If you think it's like a small percentage of people are looking at your Facebook page, you are sorely wrong.
No. I mean, I'll post reviews and pictures and topics and interesting questions on my personal page. But I know that those people that are searching Your Event Matters aren't going to see that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I know that's one thing I want to correct this year.
Right. Now, I know Jody brought up, she said if there's a problem, she'd like to know about it ahead of time. So the DJs have to fill out an event report on how their event went. Now, are you totally solo, or how many guys do you have working for you?
So it's me, my wife. I have loading guys.
Okay.
And I just literally today hired my first DJ that will be working with me on a lot of events.
Like aside you or
alongside me, yeah.
Okay, so you're one guy.
Yeah, single out.
Single out. Okay.
And I don't see myself ever moving to a multi-app.
That's fine. Everybody's got a different idea.
Yeah.
My whole thing was at one point in time when I was young, I wanted to have the biggest company in the world. Like that was before I even knew what I wanted to do. Like that was just, I used to look at people like J.R. Ewing on TV thinking like, I want to be rich and powerful like them. And as you know, it didn't quite work out for me. So I've had people want to shoot me though, like he did. So
I think I'm too nervous. I think I'm too nervous that they're not going to do what we do. And our prices are not in line with the pricing in the area. So, I already sell that, I already have to sell that. And I feel like it would be hard for me to do. It's just my process. It's in my head, it's the psychology of myself. And I just don't see myself being able to trust somebody. At least, maybe my kids when they're a little bit older, they treated the same way and I hand it over to them.
Okay.
They do the thing.
Got it.
But we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Okay. Very good. So William said he could buy some good money with that equipment. That must have been the $350 million that he was referring to. So I got news for you. $350 million. That
won't be easy.
DJ equipment's going to be given away to somebody else, and I'm going to be on a boat somewhere far, far away.
I'm going to have my own little island.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you. Let's just pretend these crazy lotteries that have happened in the last 12 months. You win stupid money. Would you still do it? Would you still do what you do?
So I actually answered this question before. I would absolutely still do it.
Okay.
I would do it for free, and I would do it for couples that I'm in love with. So when I meet with a couple and they're amazing, I book their wedding and I'll just rock it. And, I'll just make sure that they're cool with the whole family aspect, and my son could come join in and be part of the experience with them. And, and I would, totally give it away. I mean, I love DJing,
Okay.
I don't like the butterflies every morning before an event. But I do. I mean, I love DJing, and, what I love the most is I love seeing our couples on a dance floor, and just the way they're looking at each other and the way that's going. I don't do sweet 16s.
Okay.
I don't do graduation parties.
Right.
I don't do birthday parties. I only do weddings.
That's it. So even at Christmas time, no holiday parties?
No holiday parties. I do 8 basketball games a year.
Okay.
I do those during the week because a good friend of mine is a coach for the school that I play basketball for. So I had fun. That's a lot of fun to bring my kids for that. And
Okay.
I do one elementary school party. And that gets my fill of just being able to do games nonstop, and having fun of the microphone. But the main reason why I do that event is because my 7-year-old works the event, and he acts as an assistant NMC at the event, and the school loves it, and he loves it because it's always a father-daughter dance. So he gets to be around all, 100
7-year-old girls,
7-year-old girls around him,
right.
and he's the star, so yeah, I love it.
Your son's already Paulie from Jersey Shore, right? So,
Yeah.
So that's that.
Yeah.
Jody asked, has Sunny from Wedding Wire addressed the new partnership? I don't think I've seen or heard anything. To my knowledge, the only thing that I've seen or heard, and there's nothing else really to talk about, is what they've released, So that's as much as they're, what other business is it of anybody else's? So
yeah, I'd be interested to see where they're going to take it.
Gotcha.
Use it,
Gotcha. Now, you're a DJ Times guy, yes? Yeah. And do you know the writings of Jeff Styles?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
He's been there forever. I mean, he's been there like at least 10 years. So I got asked to. He's doing an article on upsells, which I have to get back to him on with some fabulous pieces of knowledge. But you're the reason so many people do know you in the industry, even though you've already said you love DJing, is because of your passion for projectograms and projector mapping and cake mapping. Yeah. And we're excited to have you at Marquee about it, talking about it. And you're going to have a workshop there as well for the people that really want to roll up their sleeves. But how did you how did you get so hooked on this?
On projection. So mm-hmm. I've always had a projector as my TV. And it was interesting. And in 2012, I started Your Event Matters, and I wanted to do so in a bigger way, right? Okay. So I invested a lot of money into the company, and we came out in a pretty big way. And I remember I took a facade, and I was living in an apartment at the time, and I walked the facade past in between the projector and the wall where my TV was on, mm-hmm. and I saw the facade just kind of glow. Right, with the image of the TV, and it kind of gave me an idea. So I loaded a fireplace to my projector on the computer, positioned it to the facade, and that was the first real thing that I projected on that wasn't a monogram. Okay. In 2009, me and my wife got married, and I made a monogram for that. And I used the projector. Never thought about using it for weddings after that because I wasn't DJing weddings. I had no. Right. I didn't want to DJ weddings. I was doing the whole club thing then. And, but yeah, so, I came out with the facade panel, and I'm not going to lie, the first bridal show, it was a month after I opened. I had the facade with the fireplace, and I swear, I felt like almost every DJ in that room was laughing at me. Okay. Because it was just, they never saw it before, Right. And, behind the facade, I have an oscillating heater. All right. And a haze machine. Okay. So here's the whole experience of a real fireplace, right? And the bridal show was in January, so I had background music, kind of Christmassy music playing, and I overlaid fireplace sounds to that, and it just kind of went with everything. And I started that, and then that year I hooked up with a gentleman from outside the States that was doing projector mapping. Okay. Didn't really know much about it then. Getting into projectors, I just kind of dove in and sat with him and learned some of the things that I had to learn and the tricks of the content. And then it ballooned from there. A year and a half later, Ben Stowe, who I value a lot in my life, reached out to me about speaking at the lighting symposium. Okay. And I was nervous, and I went out there and I had a great time. Spoke at the Light Symposium, held a workshop that evening, and then we've done it since. We spoke at the Light Symposium a couple of times after that, every year since, and DJ Times and various ADJA chapter meetings. Right. And, always treat it as a workshop. The way we do the teaching. Okay. And I like seeing how people progress. I have guys that have came to the house and just to sit here and learn for a day. And then 2 weeks later, they're out there and they're selling themselves and they're doing a ton
Right.
Projections. Projections are absolutely the next phase, the next big thing. It's not a fad. I remember the first year at the Lighting Symposium, everybody was so hyped about cakes, and I think we do a very good job when it comes to our cakes and doing really unique displays on our cakes. But I think everybody was shocked when I told them that cakes are a fad and they're not gonna be around. I still believe that.
You mean projector mapping them, or in general?
No, projector mapping the cakes themselves. I preach that the walls are your canvas, and you got to learn how to create the content for that canvas, and how are you going to turn that content into a projection and a mapping and make it look like it's not just a TV on the wall. And,
gotcha.
That's what we try to teach everybody when we're doing it. So hands-on stuff, and I think a lot of people that have been part of the workshop got a lot of value out of the workshop. So
okay, good.
Yeah.
So Donnie's gonna be speaking at Marquee on Tuesday afternoon early. I think you're the first disc jockey presenter on Tuesday afternoon, and then for those that really want to roll up their sleeves, he's offering a workshop itself that night, and not that night, but that evening. The minute that the show's over at 5:00, if you want to dig in to what he had to say and do that, he's going to be there rolling up the sleeves, answering questions, showing you a more in-depth thing of it. And it's, I think, $99. So you can get your pass to Marquee at marqueeshow.com. You can see on the listings, you can also register for Donnie's workshop as well, which is only $99. So it's extremely affordable.
Yep. We're telling anybody that's interested in doing it, make sure you have Grand VJ installed on your computer.
What's it called? Granite DJ?
No, Grand VJ.
Grand DJ.
Yeah, Grand VJ. It's our Archaeos program, ARKAOS.
Okay.
Download the trial, so that way you could work along everything we're doing, and I could show you how to use the program the best way that you need to use it for the events that you're doing.
Okay.
The monograms are huge. The easiest way I could sell somebody moving away from shooting a monogram with a Source 4 or any other projection style light is just think about how many monograms you have sold for that year.
Right.
Times it by 60.
Right.
Okay. You have you have 10 jobs, $600. That's $600 is an investment towards your projector. And then the monograms you learn how to create yourselves, or you use something like my monogram pack, Michael Anderson's monogram pack. We extend ourselves to the community so we can teach them, and then the money's in your pocket. So you're creating really unique content for your couples. That's not just initials in script in white on the dance floor. You're creating something really unique that really flows with the experience the couples are going to get.
Cool. And of course it's an upsell. So
absolutely,
you're taking home a couple $100 every time. So It's Moy Muniz asks, do you get more leads from Wedding Wire, The Knot, or Yelp? So
honestly, I get most of my reviews, most of my leads that are outside of referrals from the venues here from Instagram.
Okay, from Instagram. Very good. And it's because you're visual with all of your monograms probably in your mapping, right?
Yeah, and the every event we do a recap, 10 pictures, 10 videos. We speak about it. I put it on my Facebook page too. I get a lot of traction when it comes to Instagram.
Okay, good. I would say truthfully, the answer to that, Moy, is going to be dependent upon where you are geographically. So, because I know Chicago is a huge market for both The Knot and for Wedding Wire, and as a result of that, I think what you're going to see is that that market's going to be very saturated, whereas some of your more rural markets may not have as many vendors that are quite as serious as others, and so there's going to be some room for it. So that's where I think so I don't think there's a hard, fast rule. And I know that from looking at the Alexa ratings of both Wedding Wire and The Knot, they're pretty close in popularity. My initial gut, I would say The Knot is going to be more popular. And the reason for it is if I go back to the core of what both websites are, The Knot is a wedding planning website that also has reviews.
Yeah.
And Wedding Wire is a reviewing website. So in some way, shape, or form, they find out about your company.
Mm-hmm.
And before they decide to finally meet with you or lay down that cash, they're going to turn around and do their homework. So would you say it's pretty true as well?
Yeah, I would say the vast majority of the couples that I speak to about writing reviews know The Knot, never heard of Wedding Wire.
Okay, there we go. So
they're like, yeah, you want it on The Knot? I say, yeah, Wedding Wire too as well. And then I have to explain what Wedding Wire is, but they know.
Well, the Knot has done an amazing job of getting on Good Morning America, to Today's Show. If you even saw XM satellite radio for like the last 3 weeks, Channel 4, the Spotlight channel, it was called Wedding Party Radio. And so for 3 weeks it was nothing but wedding music. And again, when I read the press release from them about it, they said that they turned to their trusty friends at the Knot for advice on the playlist. So that was that. So it's 9:00, folks, which means that our time is officially up. So Donnie, thank you for filling in for Brian. I truly appreciate it. I'm looking forward to you coming to Chicago, being a part of the Marquee Show. And I think that Donnie speaks as well as I can speak on behalf of Donnie, that we would love to see that ballroom absolutely filled to capacity. So if you have not gotten your passes for the Marquee Show, I'm going to ask you to go to marqueeshow.com. The agenda is up, so you can see all the various people speaking. You can see all of the different seminars that are going to be happening. You can click on the presenter page, and you can get all of their different bios. So we're like 99% wrapped on the show. There's just 2 or 3 little things that we're tweaking, but that's where we're at. William, thank you for the kind words on Love the Show. I appreciate it. Moy, thank you again for the kind words. And again, get the word out for Marquee as well as for this show. And you can, of course, follow all of these shows on Disc Jockey News on Facebook. Marquee for me. And Donnie, where can they reach you?
Instagram at DJ Donnie Lewis, YouTube at Your Event Matters, and Facebook at Your Event Matters.
There you go, guys. So thank you very much. And this is where John's about to say, and we're out.
And we're out.